It's...
Dance off, bro!
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I'm gonna make him an offer, Captain.
Following the television success of Monty Python's Flying Circus, one of the most innovative and hilarious comedy shows of all time, as well as the mostly critical success of its big screen companion piece, And Now for Something Completely Different, the stage was set for Monty Python to make their first serious theatrical picture. And of course, being one of the most iconic comedy troupes of all time, they were given an ample budget to work with, and just kidding, the production would be dirt poor. Basically, almost the entire financing for the movie that was to become Monty Python and the Holy Grail would come from famous bands such as Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd, who were more or less just trying to get a tax write-off. However, as they say, pressure makes diamonds, constraints breed creativity, limitations force merit, restrictions curb excess.
Get on with it!
Yes, get on with it!
Get on with it!
Ah yes, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If I had a rubber chicken held in my head, I would probably call this my favorite comedy of all time. Not only is it hilarious, but it offers some great lessons on how to make something out of nothing. It has been well documented the struggles that the Monty Python crew had to make this movie. However, when life gives you grails, you go on a quest.
I'm already on a quest to get my swamp back.
Rather than these struggles being a detriment, they actually made the movie into what it is. The running gag of the medieval knights riding around on invisible horses while their squires follow behind, banging halves of coconuts together to simulate hoof sounds, which is one of the standout comedic elements of the film, was thought up out of necessity because they couldn't afford real horses. The fact that they couldn't afford real horses is something that I'm sure many of you knew about already, but that's not the only animal issue that the production had. Did you know that they couldn't even afford a rabbit to shoot the killer bunny scene? They had to borrow a rabbit from someone, and that person stated that they didn't want their rabbit to get dirty. So you can imagine their frustration when the Monty Python crew covered it with fake blood when they weren't looking. Budget wasn't the only thing that the Monty Python troupe had to contend with though. Co-directors Terry Jones and Terry Gilliam had different visions of what the movie would be, often swapping out takes behind each other's back. And the main star, Graham Chapman, was deep into alcoholism by this point, often being unable to enunciate his lines properly during filming because he was so intoxicated. There was also the fact that they only received permission to film at one castle, which meant that they had to shoot it from different angles, as well as use cutouts to give the appearance that there were actually multiple castles. Which meant that they had to shoot it from different angles as well as use cutouts to give the appearance that there were actually multiple castles in the film.
It's only a model.
Another good use of camera angles is when Sir Galahad is making his way through a dark forest, and the camera remains in up close on him as he wrestles through the brambles, giving the scene a claustrophobic feeling, which makes his escape to the castle anthrax feel like a relief. So besides the comedy going on in this situation, it's actually pretty good textbook filmmaking as well. Impressive for first-time directors Terry Squared. Despite all the challenges, the Monty Python troupe triumphed with The Holy Grail, and it probably remains their most famous work today. This movie is one of those rare comedies that does both visual comedy and witty dialogue extremely well at the same time. There's of course the great scene with the Black Knight, where not only is the verbal exchange between King Arthur and the Knight great, but it is made all the more hilarious by the fact that it isn't even necessary that Arthur cross this bridge in particular. He's not trying to cross some huge river, he's trying to cross a pitiful creek. All he has to do is hop over it, and this whole exchange would be pointless, but he insists on using the bridge anyway. Knowing the absurdity of the situation makes it all the more hilarious. With fourth wall breaks galore, extremely creative historical parodies, surprisingly applicable modern commentary, clever ways of foreshadowing, and Terry Gilliam's ever-creative animations, which fit remarkably well with the medieval landscape, actually helping to build a sense of continuity and world building, it's no wonder that Monty Python and the Holy Grail is in fact itself the Holy Grail of comedies. And if any of you disagree, I will fart in your general direction. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I can't tell you that it will help me say the word castle correctly, but it will help the channel. So, until next time, good night.